Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to MUFC vs. Everybody. I am your host, Sean. So glad to be back with you guys today. I know we're not doing the daily roundup like we were during the season. Things slow down a little bit during the summer. Obviously, no league games, only what we have the Euros going on. Usually there's not a whole lot going on until the transfer window opens. But then we all know, as United fans, we're used to, United being super slow and quiet in the transfer market anyway. So but as in any case, as rumors pop up, as news comes out, as things develop and updates pop out, I will do my best to be here to share them with you, share my thoughts, hopefully get your thoughts, and just update everybody. As you see all over YouTube, I know, like I always say, we need one more United fan channel, right? Because we need more of those. But why not? The more of us out there, the better. We just want to let's saturate YouTube with as much United content as we can get. But in any case, it does help if you guys hit that like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Don't forget to leave comments in the live chat. I do respond. Don't forget to leave comments after the fact on the videos. I'll respond to those as well. I love getting involved with you guys. And one of the ways that I show my appreciation for that and my thanks for your support, your involvement, your engagement, and you're helping the community grow here is the shirt giveaways. Obviously, we did one at the end of the season as promised, and that was a Rio Ferdinand jersey, and that was won by a subscriber. And then I promised you guys towards the end of the season when we got to the FA Cup final, I promised you guys if we won the FA Cup final, if we beat Man City, I would do another giveaway. And I keep my promises. I love you guys. And so we are doing that as promised. This is a pre-match top from earlier this season. This is the black with the blue and like the cream confetti. This is a men's medium. And this was the giveaway. And today we are announcing the winner of that giveaway. Again, you have to be subscribed to the channel. It helps if you're involved. It helps me know who's here, who's really feeling it. But you do have to be subscribed. I do select it randomly from subscribers. So that's how you are entered to be winners. So, but in any case, we are doing the giveaway today. And the winner is, let me make sure I have it right. Yep, Adam Peters. Adam Peters, new subscriber, I think. You are the winner of this pre-match top. It's brand new, still wrapped up, ready to go. If I remember correctly, Adam, if that is your real name, you commented in the last video during the live chat. I think we were talking about Michael Olise, and you were the one who commented about Amad Diallo and how we should kind of prioritize developing and sticking with him. Some good insight there. I know I've mentioned in the past, between like Garnacho and Diallo and Rashford, do we need to focus a lot of money on a big signing like Olise, or maybe can we look at our academy? Look, we have, probably still get rid of Anthony, still get rid of Sancho if possible, but maybe find someone a little younger, a little less expensive to fill out that winger. Maybe someone else we can develop alongside Amad, alongside Garnacho, maybe like a Doué or Etzel Zui, who I really like. Antonio Nusa will be a good shout, I think, as well. I do like Skov Olsen at Club Brugge. So there's a lot of young, wide players out there who I think we could look at. So in any case, Adam Peters, you are the winner of this pre-match top. I do appreciate your engagement, do appreciate the subscribing. And let's connect so I can get your address and ship this out to you. And hopefully, you can, if you want to really throw a shout out, you can take a video of yourself rocking the new shirt, post it on Twitter or X, and maybe tag me at MUFC versus Everybody to let me see what it looks like. But I do appreciate the growth, the engagement, and really happy to be able to give back to you guys as well. So congratulations again, Adam Peters. Again, I will do these giveaways periodically. I do have some brand new shirts set aside for future giveaways. I've got another pre-match top as well to give away, and maybe we can think about some other things. But keep an eye on the channel to kind of get notified when those giveaways are popping up. And of course, if you want to be entered to win, you have to be subscribed. it helps to be engaging in the channel. It helps to comment, hit that like button as well. It lets me know, who's really feeling it, like I said. So let's dive right in with some transfer talk. So we've got some transfer talk coming out today regarding United's midfield. Obviously, it kind of seems like Christian Eriksen and Casemiro are going to be taking off this summer. Christian Eriksen is not a huge deal, right? Because he was free signing. He did a great job when we signed him last season, and he picked up that injury. Hasn't quite looked the same since. He's had a couple of flashes later on this past season, but I think that the injury, his legs were already going a little bit, and I think that injury just kind of accelerated that process. So I think he could do a good job over in like Turkey, maybe somewhere in Spain, or even go back to Italy. Maybe it's a Saudi future for him for another year or so. I don't know. I think maybe his role is changing a bit. But in any case, it's not a big deal for us. But Casemiro is the one who, again, because we dragged our feet, we didn't sign him until after the season had started 2 years ago. And then we overpaid for him because we were scrambling after missing out on Rabiot and Frankie de Jong, both of whom Ten Hag wanted us to go look at. We overpaid for Casemiro. We're probably not going to make our money back on him. But in any case, it doesn't look like, if you watch this channel, if you watch United the last few months of the season, Casemiro's head just doesn't look like it's at United anymore. I called it in real time in that FA Cup match against Coventry when he stepped up to take the first pen. I could see it on his face that he was not going to make that pen and missed it. He just is making all sorts of bad mistakes. He's a walking yellow card waiting to happen. I think it's time we cut ties. But what that means is, because he's a really early number 6, our defensive number 6, we need a number 6. And so we've been linked today with Real Sociedad midfielder Martin Zubamendi. You remember Zubamendi popped up a little bit last summer as well. I think Arsenal were kind of looking at him before they grabbed Rice. We've been linked with him. Obviously, we're linked with everybody. But this report's coming from the Catalan outlet Nacional, who claim that United are set to bid just under £40 million, around £37.8 million for Zubamendi. So that's reportedly well below Real Sociedad's asking price for the Spanish midfielder. Zubamendi does have a release clause, though, of around $50 million, so there's not too much space in there. I do like Zubamendi a lot. He is 25. He will be 26 middle of next year. So I know that there's also been talk that United are kind of steering away from that like 25, 26, 27-year-old age bracket and kind of looking to sign some younger players. But I also am of the belief that you do need experience. You do need not like 30-year-olds, but you do need experience, especially in midfield and defense. I think that helps. That's why I wouldn't say no to someone like Gleason Bremer. Zubamendi is not old, and 30 is not the same 30 as it used to be, even 5, 10, 15 years ago. So I like Zubamendi a lot. I think he is a good Casemiro replacement. Probably wouldn't be my first choice. You guys know I'm a big fan of Manuel Ugarte. But Zubamendi is a solid player. He instantly improves our starting 11. He definitely improves a lot of teams' starting 11s, but we will see what happens, though. Do you guys like? I'm in full Euros mode right now. If you can't tell who I'm kind of backing this tournament, I always, like I've said before, I have a soft spot for the Netherlands, so I picked up this shirt a while back. I really like it. I think it's really sick. If you remember, this is from that Euros back in the 80s. This was a classic kit, and I do love it a lot. Let me know your thoughts. Are you guys feeling this? I am absolutely feeling it. I'm not usually an orange guy. I think this is the only thing I own clothing-wise that is orange. Obviously a little different because it's a jersey, but I do like it. I just noticed it in the camera. I forgot I was wearing it, actually. I was like, man, that's awesome. Let's talk about more midfield rumors. So Arsenal have been linked with Everton midfielder Amadou Onana. Obviously, United have been linked with him in the past as well. We talked about this. But the potential problem here is that Arsenal's interest, if they actually are serious in pursuing a deal for Onana, this could potentially impact United's Jared Branthwaite chase. Obviously, Everton don't want to sell Onana or Branthwaite in the first place. Everton do have to raise some money before the end of this month. So instead of selling a bunch of players, they could sell one of these guys and probably make the same amount as they would for like 2 or 3 other players. Again, they don't want to, but they might have to. Problem is they'll definitely want to keep hold of at least one of Onana or Branthwaite. And so who stays and who goes is going to come down to who makes a bid and who gets something accepted first. Potentially United for Branthwaite or potentially Arsenal for Onana. If Arsenal swoop in and grab Onana, there's going to be less pressure for Everton to sell Branthwaite. I don't have a problem with Branthwaite necessarily. I don't think he's worth anywhere near what Everton are asking. I think our first bid is probably maybe a little lower than what you can expect just in this day and age with all the other crap thrown in. But I mean, he's not the defender I would probably go for. So Fabrizio Romano today has claimed that Everton are happy to keep Branthwaite or hold out for a massive fee if Onana is sold. So there's a chance we could still grab Branthwaite if we're going for him, even if Onana is sold. I just think that it's going to make it more difficult, and it's going to definitely make it more expensive. Romano also stated that Everton are holding out for a big fee after they reportedly rejected our opening bid. Romano is actually saying that Everton are looking at the kind of fees that United have paid for defenders in the past, namely Harry Maguire, and they think that we'll pay that much money. Just because we made a mistake and paid a lot for a player in the past doesn't mean we're going to do it again. We're learning from our mistakes. That was a different regime, different structure involved. That was, Woodward, that was Murtaugh, Arnold, all those guys were in charge of a lot of that stuff. We ain't that team anymore. We're not those clowns in the transfer market. We have learned from our mistakes. We are moving forward. We are ready to walk away from deals. And I like that. It's not we don't have the money. It's just like, no, we don't think he's worth that much. So you can fuck off. We'll go elsewhere and we'll grab Todibo and someone else for the same amount. And you guys will have a disgruntled player on your hands. Because remember, reportedly, we have agreed personal terms with Branthwaite. So the player clearly wants the move. So adding to this, James Ducker also has reported, we have no intention of going anywhere near Everton's asking price. And this is even we've got new reports coming out from Ryan Taylor with the Daily Mirror that we are going to be returning next week for an improved bid. I don't think it's still going to be anywhere near. It'll probably be like 4 or 5 million more than what we just offered. Maybe with some boosted add-ons to maybe bring it to like a total of like 47, maybe closer to 50. So that means right now we're in a back and forth with Everton, which is normal. I don't have a problem with that. You see this all the time, whether it's players, you're buying a house, whatever, it's going to happen. But Ryan Taylor does add that we are pretty much ready to tell Everton that we're going to move on if they don't kind of come down to a more realistic asking price. Now, again, Everton are well within their rights to ask for whoever they want, but doesn't mean that player is worth that much. I know people will be out there like, a player is worth as much as a club is willing to spend. Well, that's fine. We have Todibo waiting for less than half of what we would have to spend on Branthwaite. We've got other options out there. Juve reporting interested in a couple of our players. There's maybe a deal there for Bremer. There's a lot of defenders out there this year, just like that striker market was oversaturated a year or so ago. We can easily walk away. So I don't have a problem with that. And the thing is Branthwaite worth that money? You got to remember, when was the last time a young English defender went for big money? Was that John Stones? Probably. Is Branthwaite anywhere near what John Stones was at that? How old is Branthwaite? 20, 21, 22? Probably not. I'd say move on, grab Todibo, lock him up. He's not at the Euros. He's young. He's a good age. We have the Nice connection. It's not as expensive. In my opinion, he's a better defender. Doesn't mean that Branthwaite won't become better, but right now Branthwaite's not worth that money. So go lock up Todibo and just keep on rolling in the next position on the transfer list. So we are also reportedly eyeing up another young teenage starlet. According to this, coming from the Express. So this time, reportedly, we're looking at Red Bull Salzburg's 17-year-old forward. Why are you guys making me? I feel like someone's just trolling me at this moment because I'm not trying to be funny or insensitive. Y'all, some of these guys just have some crazy hard names to pronounce. So bear with me here. So 17-year-old forward Ogena Tajiri Adenejinaguri. Did I get that? Let me know if I got that or not. So he's a young 17-year-old attacker. He's played in like the under 18 level for Salzburg. He scored 16 in 20 games last season, which is not bad. Good prospect, good one for the future, right? We have a lot of these young players. We've got Wheatley coming through the ranks, Collier's coming through the ranks. Manu popped up this year, Harry Amas. We've got a lot of young players. And we've seen this with like Garnacho. We didn't raise Garnacho from like 5 or 6 years old. We grabbed him from Atletico Madrid and we developed him in the academy for a few years, and then we slowly integrated him into the first team. I think you're probably going to see something similar with this kid if we're in fact in form. But apparently we're not the only club scouting him. So Dortmund and AC Milan are also reportedly interested. Please don't ask me to say his name again because I don't want to offend anybody. Ogena Tajiri. We'll just call him Ogena Tajiri. Is one to keep an eye on. If you guys watch any of Salzburg, let me know what you think. I'm not going to lie and pretend like I've seen him. I've just seen some of his statistics. So we'll see. Our midfield strengthening might be hitting a bit of a snag. So there's been some talk today that United might be facing some competition from PSG for Benfica's Joao Neves. We've been heavily linked with Joao Neves. Joao Neves looks like he's probably going to be moving this summer. He's super close to Bruno. I know Agent Bruno is out there doing the Lord's work trying to get this kid to come to United. But Ebola, so the Portuguese newspaper Ebola, they claim that PSG have already made contact with Benfica regarding Joao Neves, and the belief is that they're going to be pretty much making an official bid pretty soon. Keep in mind, we've already reportedly had a bid of around 50 million rejected. Joao Neves does have an 84 million release clause. And the report is that Benfica are not looking to sell, especially for anything lower than that release clause. So it's going to take a bit of money or some, good negotiating and maybe another player to sweeten the pot. Maybe we can throw them Antony, or maybe send Lindelof back to Benfica to kind of help our cause there a little bit. What are your thoughts on Neves? I know we got the Euros right now. A lot of people are probably going to be watching him. He's been really good for Benfica. I really like Neves. What are your thoughts? Would you prioritize him, considering all the others, positions we really need to fill? Is he the right profile to come in and kind of be that Casemiro replacement to play alongside Manu or Mason Mount in that pivot, or in maybe a 4-3-3 as an 8? Or do you see him more as a deeper 6? I know he does make a lot of tackles. He does make a lot of interceptions, but I've also seen a lot of kind of deep playmaking from him. He comes deep, he takes the ball off the defense, and he carries it out in the midfield and makes things happen, which I really like. So we'll see. It's hard to kind of pinpoint, what his profile is. He's not a straight up defensive number 6 like a Casemiro. He's not a creative kind of 8 or a 10 or anything. It's interesting, but I do like him a lot. I just don't know if I would pay that much for him. I'd almost rather go make a sneaky bid for Ugarte, let PSG snag Neves, because he's not going to be much more expensive in a year or two than he is what he would cost now. So we'll see. But Ugarte's out there. Ugarte could be gotten for pretty cheap. And just saying. So potential outgoings. Apparently Juventus want Jadon Sancho. So remember the last video I shared a little bit of news that Juventus were looking at doing a deal for Mason Greenwood. But now Gianluca Di Marzio is now reporting that Juventus want to bring Jadon Sancho on loan. And that's actually coming from Tutto Mercato Web, not Di Marzio, sorry. Di Marzio is the one who was reporting that Greenwood and Juventus have agreed to personal terms. So it's for Tutto Mercato Web, but they're in another Italian outlet. They're reporting that Juventus want Jadon Sancho on loan. The report asserts that Juventus can't afford to pay his wages, though, and United would have to help them with that. And I'm for guys like this. Like, if you want the player, buy the player. None of this crap. Pay up or move on. You're not going to have to pay anywhere near what we paid for him, so count yourself lucky there. He just got to a Champions League final, so pay the money. Just do it. You're getting Mason Greenwood and you're getting Jadon Sancho probably for the same price as one Jadon Sancho cost us a couple years ago. So pay it and move on. It's pretty clear that the Premier League and United and Ten Hag, none of that is a good fit for Sancho. I imagine it won't take long for Sancho to come out with another scapegoat tweet at Juventus if he goes there, because that seems to be his MO. We've seen there's more evidence to suggest that he has an attitude problem than to suggest otherwise, because he's had issues at every single club. So anyone out there blaming Erik Ten Hag for Jadon Sancho's struggles at United needs to remember that he wasn't exactly doing great when under Ollie either. So it's pretty easy to point the finger at the manager, but we need to also take a look at these players too. But in any case, we'll see what happens there. It's hard to believe that Juventus are going to grab Greenwood and Sancho. You feel like it would be one or the other, but I'm still like, yo, PSG, here's Sancho, give us Ugarte, straight swap, let's go. Come on. Now, I know that rarely happens. I think we did that with like Alexis Sanchez and Mkhitaryan, but come on, we can dream, right? Don't crush my dreams, guys. What would you guys do with Sancho? Would you keep him? Would you sell him? Would you be willing to pay his wages just to get him out of here and loan him to Juventus? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the live chat what you think. There's some rumors today that Victor Lindelof could be on the move. So this is coming from Turkish outlet Photomac, who brought them up a couple videos ago regarding, I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka was heavily linked with them, with Galatasaray. But in any case, Photomac are reporting that Jose Mourinho, who is the new Fenerbahce manager, wants to be reunited with Victor Lindelof and help strengthen his defense at Fenerbahce. They're reportedly set to offer around 8 million euros for Victor Lindelof, who I think he's 29 now. I have no personal issues with Lindelof, just like I have no personal issues with Antony. I just don't think the Premier League is the league for them. I think Lindelof will do well somewhere in Spain, maybe France, Turkey. Great. Let's maybe let Donny van de Beek go there as well. But the report from Photomac also claims that Victor Lindelof is excited at the idea of working with Jose Mourinho again. Remember, Mourinho signed him from Benfica a while back. It was interesting signing. He never really struck me as, just like Fred, though. Fred never really struck me as a Mourinho player. I don't know. I couldn't see it. So we'll see. I don't wish anything bad for Lindelof. I wish nothing but the best for him. It's just he's never really looked like he's up for the Premier League. He's not quite physical enough. He's not super fast. He doesn't cover ground very well in terms of, cutting out passing lanes or anything. But he is a loyal servant of the club. He will play wherever you ask him to. He filled in at left back for us. He's played a couple times at right back. I remember there was a bit of talk a while back there where people were like, play him at defensive midfield. He played there before. And it's like, it's weird when people do that, they want to play people. Like I've read recently, people were like, play Lisandro Martinez in defensive midfield and get Branthwaite to play at the left center back. People do that. I remember a few years back, people were talking about playing Wan-Bissaka as a 6 or even as a center defender. And I'm like, no, just let them play where they play. Even if it's not with us, if it's in a different club, a different league, let them do that. But in any case, we'll see what happens with Lindelof. I think it is about time. I think it was time 2 seasons ago, honestly, for Lindelof. We're not going to get as much as we probably could have got, but that's okay. I thought maybe he and even McTominay would have gone to Roma when Jose was there, because we know Jose loves McTominay as well. But McTominay has actually been a decent player for us this season, one of our better players, in my opinion, scored a lot of goals. He still does not look like a Premier League level midfielder, or at least a Manchester United level midfielder. He can't really read the game. His positioning is not great. He can't really do much other than shoot and make a tackle, but even his tackles are usually just fouls anyway. So we can improve on McTominay. I don't know if it'd be a priority for me this season, but in any case, Lindelof could be going to Fenerbahce to be reunited with Jose Mourinho. We'll see what happens there. Would you guys keep Lindelof? If it was between Lindelof and Harry Maguire, who would you keep? Who would you sell? If you had to keep one, who would it be? I'd probably keep Maguire. Up until recently, Maguire's injury record has been fine. He's a good physical defender. He does a job. I have no problem with Maguire. He's not as bad as people think. People will point out that he's not fast. Being fast is not the be-all, end-all of traits in terms of being a footballer. So I think he offers more than what Lindelof offers personally. And so Maguire seems to want to be here as well. So I'm not saying Lindelof doesn't. I'm just saying Maguire loves United. He wants to be a United player. He's 30 now, right? So he's got a couple seasons left, but we'll see what happens. It's going to do it for the transfer news today. Are you guys watching the Euros at all, by the way? Pretty meh so far, right? There was an earlier match, Hungary, Switzerland. Spain, Croatia just finished up. I was watching it. It was 3-0 when I came upstairs. Did it end 3-0? Spain, Croatia, let me know so I don't have to look. It did finish 3-0. So we've got Italy versus Albania coming up in about a half hour. You guys going to watch that one? Probably. I probably will not be watching that. We've got a lot of work to do. I need to go ice my foot a little bit, still recovering. But yeah, it's been kind of mad. The Euros in general, like I'll watch them, same as World Cup. I won't watch all the matches, but it's just, it's like a friendly sometimes. I just am a little cringe watching it because I don't want anybody to get injured. But in any case, that Spain-Croatia match, it was a decent match, I thought, until Spain grabbed 2 in the space of a few minutes. And then after that, it was just all Spain. A bit worrying because I think Spain scored again right before halftime. It's a bit worrying that they couldn't do anything in the second half. But I think Lamine Yamal was now the youngest player to start at the Euros. I know those FC24 guys are fuming that he's not in the game, which is weird because I know there is another 16-year-old in the game. There are young players in that game, so it's weird to me. But I not like I would sign him for United in career mode anyway. But I did have to grab a free trial to Fubo this morning to catch the first one because it wasn't on Fox. Does anybody else use Fubo? I've not really ever used it before, but tell me in the comments in the live chat, is it normal for Fubo to not have score on the screen? I was watching and I was like, is this a replay? What's going on? And no score, kind of weird. That seems like a glitch you'd see in a FIFA game on release or something, not something you'd see in a pretty popular platform, right? Fubo is pretty popular from what I hear. Some of the streaming platforms like Paramount, even Fox is pretty awful. They're not great. Paramount's pretty rough. They have a lot of issues when I go to click on a Champions League match and it's like the wrong match or it's just a black screen or something. I think there's been just a rush for a lot of these channels and these companies to get their own streaming platforms. They're not doing it great. It's like they're using the customers, kind of like video games now. They're using the customers as beta testers, free beta testing, and then they do updates and patches as needed, basically. So we'll see. But I think that was the only one I had to watch on Fubo. Are you guys watching them? Who are your favorites? Any players you have stood out for you so far? Any players you're keeping an eye on? Like I said, I recommended you guys watch Sebastian Szymanski. He plays for Poland. He's a midfielder. What is he, 25 years old now? I talked a little bit about him in the last video. Really good midfielder. I really like him a lot. So keep an eye on him if you guys are watching. I know Hungary played, so a lot of people are probably watching Milos Kerkez, Bournemouth left back, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, who United have reportedly been interested in. He did not have a great match earlier, but it's Hungary. They didn't really look great. Jobozlai was a ghost. Barely touched the ball. I know he got an assist, but other than that, I don't think I heard his name at all in that first half this morning. So Wi-Fi password not cutting it today, but they need to get him on the ball in order for things to happen. And we saw in the second half, I think Hungary came out and they were a little more dominant. And so, but we need to get guys like that on the ball. That's the important thing. Finally, closing out, if you are in the Metro Detroit area tomorrow, midday and you want to catch some footy, if it's not too hot for, if you want to go sit out and enjoy the nice weather, Midwest Premier League side Livonia City Football Club, up the Wheats, they host Inter Detroit tomorrow at home. I think kickoff's around 1 p.m. So it's at the Hawk, which is a sports complex in Farmington Hills. If you guys are not familiar with the area, just look it up. It's called the Hawk. Not too far from me, not too far from where Livonia were playing last season, which was at Madonna, which is like right across the street from where I live, which was convenient when I was on the board with them. But Livonia City are looking to make it 2 wins in a row in the league. So go check them out if you guys are there. It's not expensive to go watch. Support them. It's pretty fun. There's a guy, Wheaties Fanatic. He is there with his drums, his flag. I don't think he's allowed to use flares anymore or smoke bombs. We used them before. I think that the Hawk has some rules, but go check it out. Support the team, and it's good. There's a ton of leagues, a ton of teams, especially in the U.S., especially in Michigan. They're kind of all over the place. So like I said, if you are in the Metro Detroit area tomorrow around 1 o'clock and you want to go catch some footy, stop by the Hawk, check out Livonia City FC, and as always, up the Wheats. But that is going to do it for me today, guys. Congratulations, Adam Peters, for winning the giveaway. Like I said, we're going to connect and get you hooked up with your shirt. I will pop that in the mail as soon as we connect and I get your address. Don't leave it in the comments. We will connect privately. I don't want you to be getting any stalkers or anything, or unwanted spam, but we'll connect privately. We'll get you hooked up with that. And you guys, the best way to get involved and the best way to get into contention for these giveaways is to subscribe, get involved in the live chat, get involved in the comments, like the videos, watch the videos, go follow me on Twitter, MUFC versus everybody. I do have some other shirts set aside for future giveaways, so keep a lookout, keep watching the videos to learn when those are going to pop up, and so you can get entered. Like I said, I do it because I'm thankful, I'm appreciative, and I want to show that appreciation for your support by offering some of these giveaways. So thanks again for watching the channel. That was the roundup today. I am Sean. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you on the next one. And go Netherlands, right? Go Orange. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks.